This show is brought to you by Nice Mug. Nice Mug is the only mug made entirely out of ice. For more information, go to nicemug.com and enter the coupon code SAUNA for 10% off your entire purchase.
So here we are, another episode of Sauna Talk, actually another season of Sauna Talk, Lake Vermilion, Northeast Minnesota. And I got to tell you guys, anybody that's into the authentic sauna experience, and you don't have access to lakes like the North Country, put it on your road trip list or your vacation list. Because if you like saunas and you're who knows where, in a health club somewhere or a hotel somewhere, and you're living in a warm climate, hey, I get it. That's just the reality. So it's kind of ironic when you think about it. You're living in a warm climate, and you go into an air-conditioned building, and then you go into a super hot room in an air-conditioned building, and then to cool down, you go back into an air-conditioned building. Well, that's your reality, and understood. But when you think about sauna in a real traditional way, whether it's in Finland, which is kind of my main go-to style of sweat, or, in Korea, other climates, North America, with the Native American sweat lodge, this kind of thing. Where I'm building up to here is cold, outdoor, cold. And in Finland, again, where I go to when I think about sweat is the traditional sauna, the Finnish sauna. It's lakes, and we enjoy sauna in nature. We enjoy sauna close to a lake, and we love it in 4 seasons. And this season right now happens to be summer. And in this season, I happened to hop onto my fishing boat on an island in northeast Minnesota and cruised over to another island where I met up with Dave and Judy Pearson. Dave and Judy are in their 80s, and they're active, and they're just wonderful people. And we had a wonderful sauna. And Dave is a pastor, a Lutheran pastor. And I could go on and on about what a great time we had, but I'm just going to let you listen to it. I love getting the microphone out again, sitting in someone else's sauna and just shooting the breeze, talking about what sauna means for them. So that's what I would love for you guys to do, is to get into a boat, go to a northern lake, and take a sauna by the shore. This sauna is right on the shore. And if you look down between the slats in the floor of the sauna, you'll see the granite rock below, about a pencil width distance, like a deck. And that dispels a lot of sauna myth about insulating your floor. You don't have to mess with that. The other cool thing with Dave and Judy is they have a cleaning station uphill. Even though they're right by the shore, no detergents in the lake. Very admirable thing. But mostly this is a spiritual sauna for me. It was so great to visit with Dave and Judy and hear the power in Dave's voice as if he's on the pulpit. But we weren't on the pulpit. We were just hanging out, having a great time, a lot of jokes, a lot of laughter. It was really great to know that Dave and Judy cut their own firewood, enjoy their saunas together. And so that's the spirit for this episode of Sauna Talk. Hope you enjoy. So here we are. It's a beautiful July Sunday afternoon, and is it any? So I took the boat over here to sit with you guys, which is a real pleasure. I mean, a lot of people when they go to work, they get in the car, but I hopped in the boat from our island and I came over to Isle of Pines here on Lake Vermilion, and I'm sitting with a couple of folks that are no stranger to sauna. To my left is
Judy.
And to my right,
Dave?
And you folks have been married how long now?
We have been married 54 years.
54 years. And Judy, you grew up whereabouts?
In Illinois.
In Illinois. And you guys lived in Duluth for a time, is that right?
We did for about 17 years.
17 years.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And when did you guys first get exposed to the real sauna, like the wood-burning sauna experience?
Well, actually, I guess I was the one that was exposed to it earliest because my family has been in northern Minnesota all of my life. I was born in Duluth, and my grandfather emigrated to Tower, Minnesota, and
Where did he immigrate from?
Sweden.
Okay. And he was about how old when he came over from Sweden?
Oh, he was a relatively young man. He was probably in his late 30s.
Was it the mines that brought him? Or?
Yes, yeah. And he, ultimately was got one of these land grants by President McKinley and settled the family originally in the city of Tower, and but later not about 5 miles south of Tower where the land was granted. So the family was raised out there, and
Not too far from Embarrass, I take it, right?
no, a few miles north of Embarrass,
Sure.
But
Sure. And that's where the Swedes hung out. All the Finns were in Embarrass, huh?
that's right. That's right.
But you were no stranger for sauna. Did your father have a sauna? Did your parents?
No, they didn't. But as a young child, when I would go up from Duluth, where I was raised, to visit with my grandfather and my uncle, who remained there after my grandfather deceased, one of the neighbors had a sauna on a little lake just a couple miles down, and so that would be our primary method of bathing. And so I would go up there, and oftentimes with my family, or else I would go up there and stay a few days alone with my aunt and uncle and grandfather, and so we would go down in sauna in a wood sauna. So I was exposed to it at a very early age, and that was on a little. They had a little private lake on there, so that sauna was much like this, except it was a lake about maybe not even any bigger than the island itself. But
Yeah, so you could swim from one side to the other if you wanted, huh?
that's right.
Right on. And so was this sauna experience more of a functional thing, like a bathing thing, or was it a recreation thing too?
It probably was more of a bathing thing, because the neighbors were Finnish, and of course my whole relation was all Swedish, but they mixed well.
Yeah, no question.
And we acquired each other's traditions somewhat.
Yeah, it's funny about the Swedes and the Finns. They get really competitive on the hockey, on the hockey teams and stuff. But deep down, they have the Finns and the Swedes have so much more in common than different. But fast forward to today, this sauna that we're experiencing, Judy, it's something that you and your husband do how frequently?
Daily.
Every day.
Yep.
When's the last day that you've missed a sauna?
Well, I need to say if the weather's bad, we might chicken out, if it's really bad.
Well, a sauna enthusiast once told me that the worse the weather, the better the sauna.
Well, there's some truth to that, but we're not going to be here and go in the lake when the lightning is coming.
Got it. So that would be a mandatory miss, the lightning. And then how late into the season do you folks sauna?
Well, the latter years now, we've been leaving the latter part. We've been leaving about the 1st of November. But for 17 years, just prior to the latter years, we lived up here permanently. So we would sauna throughout the winter.
Cutting a hole in the ice?
No, rolling in the snow.
Oh, got it. But never miss a day, pretty much?
In the winter, once in a while, we did, yeah.
Is 5 o'clock the typical sauna time for you guys?
Sometimes a little later in the summer because the day is so beautiful and we just don't want it to end, you know.
Right, and I'll try to put a couple more photos in the show notes, but it's awesome where we're sitting right now. We're literally on the shores of Lake Vermilion. There's 2 windows in the hot room, one in the door, which as I build saunas, I always put a window in the hot room door. You can see who's coming and who's going, and a great little window looking, what are we looking here? What direction?
Right. We're looking west.
Looking west, and the sun is casting a shadow in on the sauna rocks. And but let's talk a little bit about your career. Tell us listeners what your profession was.
Well, I was really a second career. Initially, I was a mechanical engineer and worked in that for a few years, and then I went to Lutheran seminary and was ordained as a Lutheran pastor and served in that capacity. I guess I still am a Lutheran pastor.
Nice. You're still.
I'm not still serving an active parish,
Right.
but I guess they just consider us active but retired.
Active but retired. So, Judy, you're no stranger to Lutheran pastors in your family, right?
Right.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, let's see. It's David that has the blood relatives. I had a brother-in-law that's a pastor.
Okay.
Was a pastor. He's passed away 6 years ago. And other than that, I had a couple of cousins in the Lutheran church that were pastors.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Dave, your brother was a pastor?
No, I just have a sister. I have an uncle who was very much an inspiration to me.
And his name?
Eric Gustafson. Eric Gustafson Sr., that is. But then I had his son was a pastor, Eric Gustafson Jr. I had a cousin, Kenneth Grankquist, a cousin, Jerry Erickson.
And what's the Youngdahl connection?
The Youngdahl connection is he was my wife's sister's husband.
Your wife's sister's husband. All right. So Judy has the Youngdahl side
Yes.
on her side.
Well, yeah, her sister married a Youngdahl.
Got it. So, yeah, was the conversation, I'd love to know the conversation at the Thanksgiving table. You guys probably had a lot of sermons to go over.
Well, really, we were never together on Thanksgiving because I virtually had parishes from Chicago, Wisconsin, throughout Minnesota, and our brother-in-law was pretty well, other than initially being in New Orleans, Louisiana, he was essentially in the Twin City area.
Right. So, Dave, as you think about, all of the sermons, I mean, you were practicing for, we could do the math really quickly. About how many years were you?
Well, I was active probably between 35 and 40 years.
Okay, and if you would think about 50 Sundays in a year, granted you didn't write a sermon every week, but...
Pretty close to it.
Well, okay, so let's go with 50 times 40. That's 2,000 sermons. I mean, am I putting you on the spot? 2,000 sermons?
I don't think so.
Yeah. So a crazy question, might as well dive into that. In 2,000 sermons, have you ever mentioned sauna by chance in your sermons?
Oh, I believe so. I definitely have, because I certainly sense within the sauna there's a spiritual connection, a cleansing dimension, and I think it's very much a part of the whole sense of well-being that comes with relating to the natural environment, with sitting in the sauna, and almost like the Native Americans would sit in their sweat lodge, but then leaving here and going out and then cleansing in the lake. That has been very much a part of it, and I think I'd have to say a lot of sermons were probably hatched in the sauna.
Oh, even better.
Because it's, the sauna becomes a conversational center.
Yes. Sometimes a conversation center within your own mind. I mean, you can untangle wires in your head or process some thoughts that you're having, through the day or whatever. it's a wonderful place to unwind and let ideas flow, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
Is there something, as you think about 2,000 sermons, is there an example perhaps of a sermon or an aha moment that came to you, during the sauna experience? Am I putting you on the spot, or something come to mind?
Well, I don't know if you're putting me on the spot, but I do. I think there's a lot of aha moments that come from the sauna, just from the conversation that is generated here, or from just personal meditation. And I wouldn't be surprised that much of the form of ministry that that I took as a pastor was generated in the sauna and around the kind of experiences that we shared.
Well done. There are a couple of pillars of I guess you could say philosophy or spirituality that you can draw in parallel, like as perhaps if you are advising someone, maybe a parishioner who's going through a hard time or something. Has there been for you personally, like in the sauna, have you been able to become stronger as a Lutheran pastor, in an example of where maybe sauna has helped guide you, with guiding others?
Well, I think one thing in the sauna, we had certainly have had opportunity to invite people here who have come to visit us and to share. It becomes a conversational place, and it becomes a place where we have just sat and conversed in a very free, unconventional, non-predescribed environment that people have used. People who have lost a spouse or who are struggling with diseases such as cancer, that type of thing. And even for us, as recently as this summer, that has even become more of an example in our own personal life, because just last January I was diagnosed with metastasis and metastasizing melanoma that originally had surfaced just as a skin cancer. 2.5, 3 years ago, that we thought had been taken care of with the treatment we received at that time, but come to discover that last January that no, it apparently had not been completely taken care of, and so it had metastasized into the lymph nodes in my neck, resulting in a surgery to remove all of those last February 14th. And then the doctor telling us to get away and relax, because one thing that you don't want with cancer is stress.
Exactly.
And so returned, and wouldn't you know that, thinking that the metastasis that we thought had been eliminated with the first round of lymph node removal showed itself in the left axial system. And so I've had 32 lymph nodes removed under my arm since we returned, that had kind of snuck away and were not probably captured in that first go around. And so, needless to say, a lot of our conversation and discussion has delved around that, and we are pretty much pursuing an anti-cancer diet approach, and we are not seeking any chemical therapies.
Great. Good for you. Congratulations on that. I mean, sorry to hear about this situation, but you bring up a great point about, getting away from it and de-stressing, getting in nature again and the sauna. And how you doing? Do you want to jump in, or are you okay?
I'm doing great.
Dave's one up in me here, where it's about 180, 190 maybe.
It's down to 180 now.
And I have him cornered, and he's closer to the Kuma stove than I am. Great selection of rocks, a lot of great heat here, and we haven't tossed water on the rocks yet. No. And I got him cornered, so to leave his bench to get to the lake, he's got to go past me.
Judy's feeding the
Okay.
wood to the sauna to
Okay,
get it back up to 190.
Yeah. And I love the partnership. I mean, this is so in the last, 20, 30 saunas that you've taken, have they all been with Judy, or do you ever solo sauna, or?
I have certainly solo sauned. As I said, I had surgery again on June 5th, and as a result of that, I had a drain in my body, which prohibited me by the strict dimensions of the doctor not to take a sauna or to go in the lake because I had an open drain that was going. So I've only been back in the sauna from June 5th until about 5 days ago.
Okay, gotcha. So the routine is back, and that's wonderful here. And I hear you about stress and how, when we're given a diagnosis like this, and it's certainly something that we all have to deal with. But what a wonderful thing that we have this sauna to connect us with nature. And I have to say, I'm a little staggering because my microphone is very hot. So no, I love that you toss the water in.
Cool down, and
you should probably
jump in,
and we'll press pause.
Yeah.
That would be just fine.
Okay. This show is brought to you by Dean's Kombucha. Fermented in specially charred oak barrels and utilizing whole fruits and herbs for flavoring, Dean's Kombucha is crisp, light, and full of probiotics, enzymes, and acids for your health and vitality. It's a great post-workout beverage and great for post-sauna. If you're in Minneapolis, you can enjoy Dean's on tap at East Lake Craft Brewery, Midtown Global Market, Wedge Table, Nicollet, and Quixotic Coffee in St. Paul. But here's the thing, kombucha and sauna are tied in, real tight. It goes way back, generations, centuries. Well, we're back. We had a great jump in the lake. And I'm sitting here on the shoreline with Dave and Judy, and we got talking a little bit about sauna and the cleansing aspects. And Dave just happens to have a book with him, and I'll send it over to you, Dave.
I was referred to this book by the oncologist that is treating me at this time, and I just was reading this one chapter and found it very interesting because I came across just a paragraph where it reminded me of something that I had been experiencing, and yet I found it in a book, 40 years after I really began to experience this. But I would just read you a few lines from that. It says, "It's interesting to note that the second best proven method for removing toxins is sweating in a sauna. Interesting, because the practice of taking saunas and steam baths has been a part of several cultures for thousands of years. From a detox perspective, and I'm not speaking about alcohol detox or anything, but there's published evidence that using high-temperature saunas or baths in tandem with exercise increases a lot of the chemical balances and such within the body, and just stimulates a much healthier lifestyle. And I think as a minister, to me, that's where the spiritual dimension of it comes in, because I think we have such a significant responsibility spiritually to protect and to preserve and to use our bodies to the maximum extent that we possibly can. And when I read this, I thought, this really is kind of putting into a medical perspective something that I felt I've been experiencing, but I really can understand more fully now and recognize the therapeutic value it has for me, even at this juncture in my life when I'm experiencing my own need for getting rid of some of those cancer cells.
Sure, no question. Yeah, I mean, on a very simple level, you guys are very fit, I can tell, and you probably do a lot of work around the cabin. And I mean, is there anything better than if you're doing work around the cabin and your nails are dirty and you're kind of sweaty and who knows what, and then the sauna is idling and you step into round one and get cleaned off. Yeah. I mean, just that simple thing of like the dirt of the day. Right. The cleansing from that element is strong. And then Dave, you mentioned from this excerpt from the book about the deeper cleansing, and how not just the dirt that's in the surface, but like a lot of toxins from inside, the flushing, right?
Very much so. I think it's they recommend in this book taking saunas a minimum times of 3 days a week.
Yeah, well, I generally sauna 3 times a week, but hanging around you guys, I think I'm gonna up my numbers a little bit.
Up every day.
Yeah. There was one other bit to that I felt was relevant, and that's this for centuries, like in generations and generations, the tradition of sauna, bringing family together and stuff. I mean, it's like almost you could say there's the physical cleansing and then the mental cleansing, the being able to commune with other people, and that is also a powerful thing. Yeah, good. Anything else to that, Dave?
I'm not sure I have anything right at this point.
No, we're good. I got a couple other questions, and so do you have you ever recommended being a Lutheran minister, have you recommended sauna to younger folks, maybe as a guide to connect them with their with their life and their spirituality? Have you recommended saunas to others?
Well, we certainly have. I don't know from necessarily a spiritual perspective, I have recommended it to younger people, but having raised 5 children, and they've all been raised up here, and through the years they've all had friends that have come up here, and the sauna has been part of that experience that they have encountered. And we've just tried to show them that this is just such a wonderful way of life, and for many of them it was the first time they had ever experienced a sauna, and I think it was an experience that for the most part they really learned to love it and appreciate. So I think in that respect.
So the children and the grandchildren, when they come visit, sauna is a key part of the visit.
Oh yes, I mean I think sometimes that's the reason people come up.
It starts at noon sometimes.
I know the feeling. I wrote a post on Sauna Times. It's like sauna is your best weather insurance policy at the cabin.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, speaking of children, our daughter, with her neighborhood friends, her women friends, takes a canoe trip every year. And when these little girls, they're all within 1 or 2 years of each other, were 6. They started. So these moms are pretty athletic and pretty ambitious, you know. So the 4 moms and the daughters go into the Boundary Waters, and every year, no matter where they go out of, they end up here. And mostly, I think, it's the sauna. And I remember these little girls all naked on the end of the dock, jumping in the water, you know, not a thought about it or anything, but it's just kind of fun.
Absolutely. It's great. Yeah, people coming and going out of the Boundary Waters. What, you know, especially coming out of the Boundary Waters. What a great way. And do you guys notice that the sauna helps get rid of mosquito bites?
I think it gets rid of everything.
That's right. You have it. Oh gosh, it's like we'll do. My wife and I will go on a hike, and we'll, you know, I always come back after a hike, and sauna, and you know, if you have a wood tick or whatever, you know, it's just a good. And then the mosquito bites, it seems to work. So who usually fires the sauna up here?
Well, I think for years I was the one, because when our children, as they grew and had their own families and then would come up here with their families, and so our grandchildren would be coming, they'd always call me before they left Minneapolis or wherever they were coming from and say, Dad, we'll be there by 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock or whatever, and would you have the sauna ready?
I love that. I know. And one of my lines is, you know, coming up from Minneapolis and hitting the cabin and, you know, unpacking and all that. And then I always jump in. I do what you're saying. I get the sauna going. But my line is, you haven't arrived until you jump in. So Dave, you're the one that normally will fire up the sauna in the afternoon. And what do you have a certain wood species or wood that you like to use in the sauna?
I would say we predominantly use maple or birch. And that's been an interesting process too, because I generally buy all of our wood in 8-foot lengths, and we cut it with the chainsaw, and then we split it ourselves. I do have a wood splitter now however, but it was an interesting transition for the kids to realize that it took some work.
That's right.
To have the sauna.
Heat requires a little like work, right?
So in the fall every year, over the MEA vacation, the families would all come, and it would be a work, 2 or 3 day works of cutting and splitting wood so that we'd have it for the sauna. And now they carry all the wood down the hill, so I don't have to do it, which is also good, because it's a lot more work.
No, it is. But it's great therapy too. I mean, when MEA weekend is the middle of October generally. Yeah, and what a great time of year for splitting and cutting wood. The mosquitoes are gone, cooler days, and it just feels good for the muscles to exercise and do. I think that's one of the elements of a wood burning sauna stove versus the electric, is the idea of producing your own heat through the chopping and cutting of wood. And do you have either of you, Judy or Dave, have a comment about the wood fired stove as opposed to an electric? Do you think there's a difference, or?
I'm extremely partial. Our daughter and son-in-law have an electric sauna. Their home is right on Lake Superior, and it's very nice, but I think even they prefer the wood sauna when they come up here. And to me, there's not a comparison.
Right. And do you sense a difference, Judy, as well?
I do. I think the wood sauna is hotter, which I enjoy more, you know.
Yeah. Is there any way that you could describe the difference, Dave, between a sauna with an electric stove versus a wood-fired one?
Well, I would say, I don't know, part of it I think is just there usually seems to be some kind of a wood aroma that is part of it, and the wood burning. But it just seems to me, for some reason, that it's a different heat.
Yeah. It's been described to me, it's a softer heat. When you toss water on the rocks, it doesn't fight you back. It kind of gets in your system, gets in your bones a bit more. Yeah. So I got a few series of questions, and the questions are short, but the answers need not be short if you don't mind. I asked all the guests on Sauna Talk these same questions. So, in no particular order, what do you guys think is the most most misunderstood about sauna? And by the way, Dave, if you don't mind me putting you on the spot, how old are you?
I'll be 82 in September.
82 in September, and you're still splitting firewood?
Yep.
And do you think that sauna is like part of the reason for your great health? I mean, is a spoke of a wheel, I would think, for your fitness and wellness.
It's just become part of our lifestyle up here. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things, and I think if people don't like doing that, it's maybe not a lifestyle they should choose.
What okay, so question one, that wasn't the one, but it kind of feeds into this about sauna, and I'll ask both you guys, Judy and Dave, what do you think, as you think about, others think about sauna, not from Minnesota, you tell them, yeah, we sauna every day, we split our own firewood. What do you think is the most misunderstood thing that others don't have right about sauna that we understand is right about sauna? Is there something that's misunderstood, that you think's misunderstood?
Maybe something about winter saunas. I think people just visualize, this horrible experience, and they don't realize what it feels like to go out in the snow. I've never actually been in the lake in the winter when it's frozen, but I've rolled in the snow.
You do the snow angels?
Yeah, for sure.
And do you enjoy winter saunas better than summer saunas, or are they all equal?
I think I like the summer saunas more because I love jumping in the lake. Yeah.
Anything come to mind for you, Dave, that's most misunderstood when it comes to sauna that others don't understand?
Well, I don't know if it's that they don't understand, but the vast majority of our friends who live in metro or suburban areas seem to be hot tub people versus sauna people. And I just, when we have them up here, they obviously take saunas, but I just can't even see that there's a comparison between becoming a hot tub person. To me, a sauna is a very cleansing kind of a thing, and a hot tub seems to me to be a very unpure kind of a place to gather for.
Yeah, tell me about it. I know, I couldn't agree more. I don't know what's worse, thinking about, like, if you see someone else sitting in a hot tub and they have sweat on their brow and stuff. I mean, their forehead isn't the only thing sweating, so you have all this sweat in the hot tub, and then it just smells like a chemical factory, doesn't it?
So, to me, it's trying to, sensitize people to the detoxifying nature of a sauna, which is so cleansing and spiritual in and of itself.
Yeah, and I don't see any soap or shampoo down here. Is that by design?
We have a little washing area, and that's where we soap up so it doesn't go in the lake.
Yes.
Also not in the sauna. We don't permit soap in the sauna. I don't want all that. Again, that would take away from that whole detoxification. It would become an accumulation of that. So we have an outdoor wash stand that people carry a bucket of water up there and do their washing, whatever, and then they rinse off before they come back in the sauna.
Yep, agreed. I do this, although I must admit I do have a small bar of soap and a razor in the sauna, and sometimes I'll lather up and toss the water on, and a couple more, and then we'll go hit a sauna round. Okay, a couple more questions, we'll wrap it up. Okay, so what's your favorite part of the sauna session? And mind you, as you guys well know, I mean, you experience this daily, the sauna session starts, with the firing of the sauna stove, all the way to the end. When you think about that process, from getting the fire going, stepping into round one, preparing for sauna, taking your sauna rounds, is there like a favorite part of that process? And if so, what and why?
I personally like entering the sauna, for the first time, as
Round one.
when it's hot, before it's cooled off, depending on how many people are going in there.
Yeah.
But also sometimes if you have a lot of people and you're throwing a lot of water on the sauna, it tends to get very soggy, and I much prefer the hot intensity of the heat early on in the sauna. So
Yeah. So round one, as you enter round one, is a magical. How about for you, Judy? Is there a time that or a moment in the sauna process you enjoy most?
I think I'd have to agree with David, but also I love jumping in the lake. And that's not really the sauna, but that's the payoff.
It's part of the process. I know. A buddy of mine says, when's the time to leave the hot room? Well, the time to leave the hot room when the idea of a jump into an ice cold lake is about the best idea you've ever heard.
That's right.
Yeah. One more thing before I forget. I have actually mentioned your sauna to others that are building saunas because your sauna floor is great. It looks just like a deck. I mean, there is I think it's 2x6.
2x6, yeah.
And explain the floor of your hot room, Dave.
Well, it's basically 2x6 that spans across cedar joists, and any water that is thrown on the sauna fire, will drip through the floor. So there's not an accumulation of water, so it doesn't seem to get soggy or musty in there.
That's
and moldy, and that's seems to me to have been a significant advantage. It always seems a lot fresher and a lot cleaner.
And if you look between the 2x6 cedar on the floor, it's a narrow pencil width opening, and you could see the opening and the rocks underneath. And I find that significant because so many folks that are building saunas get so worked up about their floor and insulating their floor and all that. It's completely unnecessary, isn't it?
I believe so. I mean, the fact that we've taken saunas in sub-zero weather and we still get them up to 180 degrees, it may take a little more wood and a little longer time, but
well, what happens is the sauna heats in layers. Like the stove emits heat, and as long as your ceiling is insulated well, what you hit is this layering effect. So the heat will build and build and build all the way down to the floor, and you don't need to insulate the floor. As a matter of fact, as Dave and Judy's sauna is evidence, thousands of saunas you've taken, and there's no compromising of heat or loss of heat by having a floor that is non-insulated or just open down below. But anyway, I thought I'd mention that to listeners that it's certainly possible. So hey, I got something for you guys. It's a crazy thought here, but in Minneapolis, I built a couple mobile saunas, and the idea of a mobile sauna is kind of fun because you can bring the sauna experience wherever you go. I mean, we can't bring what we're looking at here, this beautiful lake scene, where we go, but we can bring an authentic sauna experience. As you think about that, so like if you could bring a mobile sauna anywhere in the world, where would you like to bring the sauna to? Any spot come to mind? Judy, go ahead.
We spent some time in Sedona, Arizona in the winter, and there would be nothing better than a sauna after a long hike and somehow getting refreshed. I don't know if you dive in the swimming pool afterwards or what, but it would feel mighty good.
Yes, and looking at the red cliffs down there and bringing, so this whole sauna experience. I mean, what we're looking at, I wish I could describe it well for you folks, but these beautiful old red pines, gorgeous afternoon, the fresh, cool, clear water of the lake, and Judy's, mentioning about Sedona down there, where it's dry and stuff. But if you went for a hike down there and could step into a hot sauna in the evening, perhaps in Sedona, how about you, Dave?
I would concur, because before I mentioned the hot tubs, I've gotten to the point when we're down there, because we go down there every year, and And I really don't even like to go into the hot tubs, and I would much rather, even though the temperature may be 80, 90 degrees outside, a sauna feels great.
Yeah.
We'll have it on hot days up here, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well done.
Just go into have a nice cold shower that you could, outdoor shower that would.
It would get you pretty much what we're feeling right now is this cool down after this mobile sauna would be wood burning, correct?
Oh, yes.
For sure.
All right, I got one more question for you guys. So if you could take a sauna with anybody in the world, dead or alive, past, present, just the two of you, you and someone else, just a very simple sauna, does anyone come to mind? Barack Obama.
Mm-hmm. Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Because of the conversation we'd have.
Yeah. What would be something you'd like to chat with him about?
Was it really as bad as it seemed?
Dave, how about you?
I'd kind of like to take a sauna with Jesus.
That's great.
I'd be curious what he'd say about a sauna, but he probably experienced something pretty close to it. But it made me chuckle when you asked the question, and I thought I'd kind of be interested in knowing what he thought about a sauna.
Well, as a Lutheran minister, I give you high marks for that answer. Well, here we are. We're going to go back in the sauna, and I just want to thank you for listening, and really a big thanks to Judy and Dave. Go ahead.
One addendum. I think if Jesus might have a problem because if he came out of the sauna, he'd walk on the water and wouldn't get wet.
We'd have to get a variance form of some kind to get him in the lake. Yeah. Great. Well, thanks again, folks. Really a pleasure to visit with you on this beautiful July day in Lake Vermilion in northern Minnesota. Any parting words for either of you guys, for the listening audience?
If you haven't experienced the sauna, I mean, you have to do it because it's a wonderful, cleansing, spiritual way of life.